Welcome to the Nick Gambaro Show. Alongside me, Emilio Ortega, Stefan Martinez, and Ivan Morbell. And today we're going to preview the NBA season, the NHL season, and talk some NFL a little bit.
Yup.
That's right. But let's start off with the NBA. Things here in New York, one team looks like they're going to have a better season than the other.
Got two Knicks fans here.
Two biggest Knicks fans I've ever met.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Knicks, Nets, and then we'll kind of break down
Okay.
some other stuff in the league.
Here's my general feeling on it. Amelia, I want you to comment as well. Ivan, you can chime in too. There's a lot of, and I use the word cautious optimism around the Knicks right now. I don't think we should be printing conference finals tickets yet.
Yeah.
Or planning a parade. I think that's a bit premature.
Yeah.
But if you see everything that this franchise has done in maybe the last 4 or 5 months, you kind of see where Carmelo sees the end of the tunnel. We're talking about Carmelo Anthony, who has been a loyal soldier to the New York Knicks. He's been loyal. He's been with the franchise through thick and thin.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you want about his, quote-unquote selfishness, but Carmelo seems to have a willingness to want to help the Knicks get to the next level. And most superstars don't embrace New York like that. So I give him credit. Everybody's excited about Derrick Rose. Now, we understand what Derrick Rose is. Guy with injuries, checkered past. Me and Nick have spoken about this, enough. But if Derrick Rose is healthy, and I use the word if, very strong if.
Capital I-F.
It's almost a guarantee that the Knicks are going to be very, very good this upcoming season. And the unfortunate thing is Derrick Rose has gotten a reputation where he's not a gamer. He's not in there every day. He doesn't want it bad enough. You look at the videos I've seen on Derrick Rose working out, it seems like he's ready to tell everybody otherwise.
I would agree, except let me see how Carmelo acclimates with Derrick Rose, with Courtney Lee, with a Brandon Jennings, to see if he is at certain spots, doesn't have to take the shot, if he could be a good facilitator in big spots. I think that would really help the team, and that would help him and start to change his perception. Because if we see that, then it'll be made clear to Knicks fans that Carmelo wants to win.
I think he'll be fine because, I know we're talking about the Knicks, but if you go back to when Carmelo was with the Nuggets, he did play with AI, and you know what AI was known for. So
He was a chucker.
Yeah, Allen Iverson has always been the guy that, has had questions about his game, and Carmelo and him worked. It was a bit uncomfortable at first, but it worked.
yeah.
But I don't know if he's going to have the same problems with Derrick Rose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because
Yeah.
I think Derrick Rose is more ready to and willing to give up shots.
Yeah.
And Carmelo's even said, I'll give up shots for the betterment of you guys. I'm done scoring 35 points a game. Those days have passed me by. I want to score between 25 and 28. Be comfortable. Derrick Rose, I'm going to let you beat you. But the key for me, I got 2 keys for the Knicks, and I want to know what all you guys think before we wrap. Kristaps Porzingis, what type of season will he have? And what impact does Joakim Noah have on his team? Because those are the 2 guys that I think the Knicks season is going to center around, besides Carmelo Anthony and Derrick Rose. Would you guys agree with that?
I agree with Joakim
Yeah.
Noah in this regard. Joakim Noah will call out guys if they're not playing defense. So the Knicks will become a little bit of more of a defensive-minded club.
A bit more aggressive.
Yes, and as far as Kristaps, if he's bulking up and he's embracing the challenge, this kid might be also a defensive beast.
Yes.
He's not mobile. Don't get me wrong. He's not. You saw him matched up against Draymond Green, and he looked like he was stuck in the mud.
But that comes with endurance.
Yes.
I don't know if I wouldn't say he's not mobile because he's mobile. He's good laterally, which most big men aren't. You don't get that good lateral quickness, but you got to remember, KP was a rookie last year. Let's put that in its proper context. 20 years old, just turned 21. Happy birthday, KP. And the guy can do it all. Rebounds, he can score the basketball.
Block shots.
And for a guy that's 7 feet,
7'3",
7'3", who grew 2 inches over the summer reportedly.
Wow.
So now we're talking about 7'5".
Ouch.
Who can put the ball on the floor.
Right.
Dangerous proposition.
Got Andre the Giant playing in
10 seconds left. Prediction for the Knicks and Nets.
Knicks finished third this season. Knicks finished third.
Wow.
In the conference.
Yes, and Knicks win the Atlantic Division this year.
Okay.
Nets.
And I think the Nets finished dead last.
Yeah, Nets are one of the worst teams in the NBA.
And I think you know what? I think the Sixers have a better record than they do. The Sixers are going to be fighting for a playoff spot this year with Ben Simmons and that young core.
Think so?
Yes.
So they have
I think the Nets finished last, and unfortunately for you Brooklyn Nets fans, the slow rebuild is only beginning.
But that's going to wrap up the segment. When we come back, we're going to discuss the upcoming NHL season. So don't go anywhere. The Nick Gambaro Show will be right back after this.
There are many arguments against the death penalty. It's not a deterrent against the crimes that it punishes. Society who use the death penalty don't have lower crime rates than those that do. When a country abolishes the death penalty, they are not plunged into criminal chaos. But even if the death penalty did reduce crime rates, would it then be acceptable?
Because of camp, I learned to make lasting friendships with people I still keep in touch with today.
Because of camp, I play guitar.
Because of camp, I turned out just fine.
Welcome back to the Nick Gambaro Show. We just finished the NBA segment, talked mostly Knicks. Well, you gave your Nets prediction. Not looking so good. But we're going to get into the NHL. We'll stay local. Devils, Islanders, Rangers. Really looking forward to the season. So pumped. We'll start in New Jersey with the Devils. Interesting season last year where we predicted mostly that the Devils would be nowhere near a playoff spot, but they were only a few spots away from it. I think their new coach got them to a good spot until, unfortunately, Corey Schneider got hurt, and they didn't have enough goal scoring, and things just didn't pan out for them this year. But listen, if Corey Schneider this year stays healthy and is solid for them, they have Taylor Hall now, who they got from Edmonton. They have Mike Camilleri still. They have some key guys now on offense. I still don't think enough, for them to be a really prolific offense or a dangerous team. But listen, you got a great goalie in net, and their coach I really like.
I hear you. But is it something that, Nick, that they can build towards, though? Tyler Hall is on his building piece.
Yeah.
Corey Schneider, if he comes back healthy, that's important for them. And I feel like what they're trying to do, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. They want to get a rebuild where it's sustainable.
They do.
They don't want to rebuild in 2 or 3 years and then have to turn it
But
over.
I think the Devils could be a playoff team soon because of Ray Shero and his GM experience with Pittsburgh. He won a cup in '09 with the Penguins. You know, the Penguins have been a consistent playoff team for years now since Crosby and Malkin. So I think they're in the right place. I don't say playoffs for them this year. Maybe like the last wild card.
Look,
but
I think if you're a fan of that team, your rebuild has to be steady.
yeah,
You can't want to build a house when your foundation is shot.
Exactly.
Patience.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Yep.
that's a great word. Because a lot of times fan bases see rebuild and they're like, oh man, why?
It's not always a bad thing.
Rebuild isn't a bad thing. You know, you went through it as I am the fan, and look at you're reaping the rewards now. Johnny Tavares was a
Absolutely.
foreman. You know, you got a couple other guys that are coming that are products of your rebuild
yeah.
that can help you towards your future. So rebuild doesn't always mean bad thing. It just means slow and steady. Sometimes win the race rather than fast and
Yeah,
you know,
let's do that. Move from New Jersey to Brooklyn, where the Islanders had a very successful season last year. Finally, after 23 years, making it to the second round of the postseason. The Islanders, you're right, Stefan. They have a really great young core, especially surrounding John Tavares. Goaltending.
And real quick, I don't mean to, we got to segue into this because he's a free agent in 17. So your core has to be solid enough where when his free agency comes,
Yeah,
he says, I'm not leaving because this young core can help me do something.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
your young core has to progress. It's nice having young assets. But if your young assets aren't producing at a level where it's feasible for him to move forward with the organization, then it's different.
And I talked to you about this, and you knew I was pretty upset. But now I'm kind of seeing where it does make sense.
Yes.
Because after getting rid of Okposo, Matt Martin,
Franz Nilsson.
Franz Nielsen, thank you. All three fan favorites, all three very good players. Okposo, the second best player on the team besides Tavares.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm kind of seeing where, okay, you know, Franz Nielsen, we offered him a contract more than the Red Wings did. He didn't want to take
A
it.
lot of money.
Okposo's kind of still young, but an older guy, and
Yeah.
he wanted to move on. He's
Yeah.
been with the organization for 10 years. And Matt Martin, the heart and soul guy of the team, but, hey, moved on.
I mean, Amelia, you know how it is. This is sports. This is what happens in sports. You
This
see it
is
The business side.
You see it
Yeah,
with, you
yeah.
see it with the
Side.
Yankees these last couple of years. When, you know, Jeter retired, Posada retired, Mo retired, A-Rod
Yeah.
just said goodbye a couple months ago. So, I mean, you have to, you know, get to a point
Yeah.
where you have to rebuild this thing. And maybe Goff Snow and everybody in the front office said, you know what, it's probably best that we don't pay this money, especially when you got cheaper guys down there
do.
who aren't going to cost you as much money,
The Islanders have great
but
prospects.
who can still be productive for us. And this might be good for John Tavares
Yeah,
because it gives him a new breath of fresh air. When you're around all the veterans,
Mhm.
they treat it like a job. Man, I got to go into work. I got to get iced up. I got to do all these things just to get prepared to play. For a young guy, you could, you know, tell him, hey, you gotta be at the rink at, you know,
yeah.
9 in the morning because we got a 1 o'clock game, and they're there. They're fired up. They're ready to go.
You have Andrew Ladd
Mhm.
and Pierre Parenteau, who was originally on the team, so he was on the first line with Tavares, so they might still have that chemistry.
Mhm.
They have to regain it back. And Jason Chimera, I think, could be the fourth line guy to replace Martin.
I like that.
Older guy, but he can skate.
I
And
like
he's a
that.
heavy
And
body.
he still hits. So, and one thing about Jack Capuano, he can't keep switching these lines around.
No.
You got to stay in a steady flow.
And
It's like in basketball when you see all these different substitutions, and the Knicks
Yeah.
never got comfortable last year because they're always bringing this guy in with this guy, bringing that guy in with that guy. Sports is about building a chemistry and a kinship, and when you keep moving pieces around, you pay for it.
Yeah.
And you saw that last year with the
One
Islanders.
thing that I want to add is not everybody is as smart as Joe Madden. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not everybody
But
knows how to mix
we
and
gotta
match.
wrap this up quickly, but from Brooklyn now, Manhattan to the Rangers.
Rebuild.
Yes, yes.
It is Glenn Sather is doing what he normally does, trading with some trades to try and get younger. Rangers need to get younger defensively. Dan Girardi's beat up. I wonder how this next season is going to be for him. Will he have a bounce-back season, or will he just continue to digress?
Yeah, I believe it's a rebuild season as well. Stefan, you have anything else to add just before we wrap up?
I agree. I think it's going to be a rebuild, but I think a rebuild is what the Rangers need. And if you're serious about this rebuild, I'm making one hard move.
Trading Henry.
I'm taking phone calls on trading Henry Blomqvist.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for the NHL segment. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, our final segment, we'll discuss the NFL. Don't go anywhere. The Nick Gambaro Show will be right back.
Because of camp, I learned to make lasting friendships with people I still keep in touch with today.
Because of camp, I play guitar.
Because of camp, I turned out just fine.
If you have any questions or comments, you can always email us at thenickgambaroshow@gmail.com.
Many arguments against the death penalty. It's not a deterrent against the crimes that it punishes. Society who use the death penalty don't have lower crime rates than those that do. When a country abolishes the death penalty, they are not plunged into criminal chaos. But even if the death penalty did reduce crime rates, would it then be acceptable?
Lasting friendships with people I still keep in touch with today.
Because of camp, I play guitar.
Because of camp, I turned out just fine.
We're back here on the Nick Gambaro Show for the last segment. Nick Gambaro, Emilio Ortega, Stefan Martinez, Ivan Morabel, and we are going to get into a little Tim Tebow talk.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we?
Let me say this. I saw the video of him taking batting practice. There's clearly some bad speed there. What? They weren't throwing him sliders.
Yeah, that's the truth.
They weren't throwing him change-ups.
What the Charlie...
Uncle Charlie's or slide pieces off the table.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting any of that. He was getting good old country hardball, and I don't know how hard they were throwing, but the bat speed seems pretty good. The only question I would have is, you know, it's easy to swing when you got a camera in front of you and you're in a cage.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody's trying to sequence to get you out, what do you do to combat that?
Especially from different arm angles as well.
That's another thing too. You're not going to always see conventional over the top.
Mm-hmm.
So with Tebow, you have to learn different arm angles, different speeds, variants of pitches, and what they're going to throw in what spot to get you out.
Right.
That's another totally different animal. And please, I'm going to say this, and Nick, this is your show, so I'm going to be kind in the way I approach this. But I don't want to hear nobody else tell me he hit 494 in high school.
Yeah.
That's high school.
That's meaningless to this. I could hit 494 in high school. Me.
I mean, not only that, but in high school, almost everyone's throwing nothing but fastballs.
And you're using metal bats.
Yeah.
You're not swinging with wood. So when you don't swing with a regulation bat, Metal is easy for you to. You don't even got to hit the ball and it connects and it's going places. So when you're swinging with a regulation bat, which is wood, it's going.
Like if you swing a regular bat, the ball won't travel far. Now, I'm going to get mad because Tim Tebow just needs to go away. He needs to go away. He's done good with ESPN.
Yes.
He needs
Stay
to
with the college football coach.
away.
I'm not.
You know, this is the thing I also want to add on. I want to let you guys go as well, but yeah, baseball is very different compared to every other sport. Like, there's so many levels, even before single A, you know. Many people think baseball, you know, starts single A. No,
you gotta go
quite a
through
few levels before.
You gotta go to instructional league. You gotta go to low
And
A.
it seems
Tim
just because
Tebow-
he played in high school, he's like, I could
Exactly.
be a major leaguer.
No.
Tim Tebow isn't going to sign, you know, a major league contract like this overnight.
No.
So
Now here's the thing, and again, there's gonna be 30 teams that this guy showcase. Let's stop talking about hitting for a second. Base running, where to be,
it sounds like common sense.
where to
but
go from first to third.
people do make
Picking
errors.
up your third base coach.
Yeah.
You've seen professional baseball players get mixed up on a first to third.
He's right.
Where to be on a sac fly. If the ball goes in the outfield, where do I go? Do
Are
I
you going
tag up?
halfway? Yeah.
Do I tag up the whole way? Do I go halfway?
What position would he play? 'Cause
That's another thing.
he has throwing issues.
The only thing I could see is
True.
maybe the outfield.
Maybe.
Maybe.
No, he
Where?
got throwing issues, man.
But throwing a football is different than throwing a baseball. It's very, very different. But honestly, he'll probably have to play one of the corner positions. I don't know if he's suitable to play an outfield because he's a big guy.
First base.
Possibly first base. There you go.
Yeah,
I would
first
buy
base.
that.
Possibly,
I would
but
buy
I
that.
don't know.
Base.
If anything, and I heard somebody say maybe he's flexible enough to go behind the plate. No, you don't want him going behind the plate because he couldn't throw me out sliding into second. I don't know if I like that. Honestly speaking, put him at first, and that's a long shot because you got to get your footwork when you're going at the bag. You got to throw, make the throw from first to second. Be there to recover on a double play. Your footwork has to be in order.
Trying to field a bunt.
That's another thing. Coming in on a bunt play, going back. What if there's a ball and the ball's in no man's land and the second baseman doesn't read it? That's your ball to go get.
Yep.
These are all the little intricate things that we watch when we watch a baseball game. Yes, these guys make it easy, but you know why? Because they've been doing this for 20, 25 plus years before they became major league ball players. They were doing this at 5, 6, 7 years old. And I love Adam Jones when he tweeted out, well, maybe I'll try out for a wide receiver with the Broncos or something. Or
Hey,
maybe
he
I'll-
looks the hey.
He looks
Adam
the part.
Jones looks the part.
He does. And, you know, I don't like, as a baseball fan, I feel like he's disrespecting the sport. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I feel like he's definitely disrespecting the sport.
In a way, I see where you're coming from, but I want to go back to you know, pitchers, you know, throwing from different angles and whatnot. Not only that, pitchers are throwing a lot harder nowadays. So
Yeah.
Tebow, I want to see him in a batter's box.
Catch up to 98.
Thank you.
Go ahead, do it.
100 plus, you know,
Catch up to 98.
because the game has been
When-
been getting a bit faster.
When you got Chapman throwing a C note at your knees, go ahead, catch up to that. I want to see it.
It's tough.
That's not easy. You know, you got major league ball players that said, I can't see it. And you, who've never been on a professional field, oh, I want to try it out. No, they're not throwing 89, 90 anymore, Tim.
This ain't high school.
Everybody's throwing 90, 96, 97, 98. And if they don't have a plus fastball, you get knuckleballs. Hit that.
Yeah,
You're
the
getting
change of
jump
speeds
balls.
can mess
Go
with you.
ahead.
Yeah.
You're not getting. I want to see you hit a changeup when it's down in the wind. It's diving, and you got the circle at the end of the ball. Go ahead, do that, Tim. It's not as easy as it looks.
Or breaking ball that doesn't break until literally the last second.
I got perfect. I'm glad you mentioned that because one of the nastiest breaking balls I've seen is Max Scherzer's. I mean, the thing starts at your hip and it ends at your ankle at the bottom of the plate.
Yeah.
And you got major league hitters that have been doing this for years, swinging at it going, Man, I look bad. And these are guys that have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
It's not that easy, Tim.
No.
So before you say I want to play baseball, you need to do your research. You need to understand, first of all, you ain't playing every once a week. You're playing every day. Can your body hold up to playing every day?
True.
Can you hold up to the grind of taking buses, different minor league stops? Because you ain't coming up to the bigs right away. They ain't flying you nowhere. You're taking buses to these different places.
Yeah.
And you're staying in and you're not staying in hotels.
You're staying
You're
in
staying
Motel
in
6s.
motels.
Yeah. You know what? One thing that I also want to add really quickly before we end is, in my opinion, I think if there's a major league club out there that does, sign Tim Tebow, it's not necessarily because of his skill, but just because his name is Tim Tebow.
Somebody's going to sign
That's
him.
what I think.
Somebody's going to sign him, and I think one of the Florida teams might sign him, whether it's the Marlins or Tampa Bay, because he's from the area. So I could see somebody taking a shot full of the publicity.
Possibly.
I could see them doing that.
Yeah.
But that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Nick Gambaro Show. For me, Nick Gambaro, Emilio Ortega, Stefan Martinez, Ivan Morbell. Talk to you guys soon.